1500. The early Tudor transition kirtle and gown. At the turn of the 16th century, English women's fashion stood between medieval flowing lines and Tudor structure. This transitional gown relies on heavy wool and rich fur linings to combat the Little Ice Age, presenting a modest yet regal silhouette. 1501. The provincial lady's gown. Away from London's court gossip, an English gentrywoman in 1501 prioritized warmth and durability. Made from fine local English wool rather than imported Italian velvet, this dress still retains the trendy square neckline of the new century. 1503. The early gable hood court dress. By 1503, the English court developed its most distinctive regional marker, the gable hood. Resembling the architecture of a Tudor home, this rigid headwear framed a tightly tailored, square-necked silhouette that defined the nobility of the early Tudor court. 1504. The gentry winter hearth gown. In 1504, fashion in country manners adapted to the brutal winter cold. By pinning the heavy outer skirt up into the girdle, gentlewomen kept their expensive wool hemlines clear of the hearth fires while proudly displaying their rich, imported fur linings. 1506. The wealthy merchant's everyday kirtle. Away from the royal court, the wives of wealthy English merchants wore high-quality wool kirtles. Front-lacing for practicality, this 1506 look showcases wealth through the sheer volume of expensive, densely pleated fabric, rather than jewels or silk. 1508. The state mourning habits. In 1508, strict sumptuary laws governed royal grief. This state mourning attire uses a linen barb under the chin to demonstrate the wearer's noble status, transforming her into a walking monument of family piety. 1510. The broad-shouldered court gown. When Henry VIII ascended the throne in 1509, the English court exploded with opulent display. This 1510 gown adopts a wider breadth, using detachable sleeves that could be swapped out to showcase vast personal wealth. 1511. The court pageant decorative gown. The Westminster Tournament of 1511 saw the English court display unparalleled luxury. This damask gown represents the festive, theatrical energy of the young King Henry VIII's court, where noblewomen dressed in metallic golds to reflect the chivalric armor of the knights. 1512. The young noblewoman's festive kirtle. In 1512, unmarried young English noblewomen enjoyed rare fashion freedoms. For spring celebrations, they could abandon the suffocating gable hood, letting their hair flow freely while showcasing bright imported Italian silks. 1514. The slashing and pinking detail gown. By 1514, the Swiss and German mercenary style of slashing garments traveled to England. This court dress demonstrates how English women adapted the trend, systematically cutting expensive silk to deliberately flaunt the pristine white linen worn underneath. 1516. The aristocratic dowager gown. In 1516, elite widows were bound by strict institutional dress codes. This habit completely frames the female body in matte black camlet, using a linen barbe beneath the chin to signify legal dowager status and eternal family piety. 1518. The Spanish farthingale introduction gown. In 1518, Spanish fashion heavily influenced the English court through Henry's first queen. This look introduces the structural farthingale hoop skirt, transforming the female body into an imposing geometric cone. 1520. The Anglo-French diplomatic gown. In 1520, Henry VIII met the King of France at the Field of the Cloth of Gold. English noblewomen used their clothing as physical weapons of diplomacy, wearing dresses literally woven with gold and silver to project national dominance. 1522. The high-necked partlet gown. In 1522, a wave of modesty sweeps European courts, leading English women to fill their low necklines with a partlet. The small frill at the top of this collar is a vital historical marker. It is the direct ancestor of the Elizabethan ruff. 1525. The Italianate Revel's illusion dress. By 1525, Wolsey's diplomatic parties introduced loose Italian fashions to London. This Revel's dress breaks away from the stiff English square neckline, opting for a low, curved Italianate cut that shocked older conservative courtiers. 1526. The debut of the French hood. By 1526, women returning from the French court, including a young Anne Boleyn, introduced the French hood. This controversial headwear was seen as flirtatious because it dared to expose a woman's front hair, breaking away from the rigid English gable hood. 1530. The high Henrician court dress. By 1530, the English court reached a peak of competitive display. This gown uses contrasting textures, harsh black velvet against blinding cloth of gold, and oversized sleeves to signal immense political status and access to imported luxury goods. 1531. The gentlewoman's summer outer gown. In the summer of 1531, as the court moved on summer progresses, ladies abandoned heavy velvet. This lightweight worsted gown utilizes embroidered linen inserts to stay cool while maintaining the rigid, flat-fronted geometry required in the presence of the king. 1533. The Anglo-French fusion court gown. In 1533, Anne Boleyn's coronation cemented the triumph of French court style in London. This look blends the clean, sharp geometry of English tailoring with the low, alluring décolletage and hair-bearing hood of Paris. 1535. The London citizen's Sunday best. By 1535, London's mercantile class was thriving. This guildwife's dress shows how middle-class citizens copied the royal court's square necklines and hoods, but adapted them using durable domestic fabrics that balanced high status with civic modesty. 1536. The Jane Seymour traditionalist resurgence. Following the fall of Anne Boleyn in 1536, Queen Jane Seymour forced a sudden fashion reset. She abandoned flirtatious French trends, returning to the rigid English gable hood to visually signal a return to traditional values and modest court life. 1538. The jeweled slashed false sleeve look. By 1538, the English court reached a peak of competitive fabric display. This gown uses massive false undersleeves, padded with horsehair and woven with real gold thread, to transform the female body into an imposing canvas of political status and immense wealth. 1540. The high-waisted Northern European court dress. In 1540, the arrival of Anne of Cleves briefly introduced Northern European style to London. Free from the stiff English farthingale, this look relies on an ultra-high waistline and massive, puffed fabric sleeves that amazed and confused the traditional English court. 1542. The Catherine Howard youthful luxury gown. By 1542, the young Queen Catherine Howard brought a sense of youthful indulgence back to court. This look represents the height of late Henrician luxury, where every inch of fabric is pinned, slashed, or encrusted with rare gems to catch the candlelight. 1545. The transitional Princess Mary silhouette. In 1545, as Princess Mary was restored to the line of succession, her clothing reflected her serious nature. This look introduces the flat hood, smoothing down the high crescent curves of the previous decade into a mature, dignified court frame. 1547. The late Tudor heavy court gown. 1547 marks the death of Henry VIII. This state gown represents the culmination of early Tudor fashion. an imposing, heavily layered silhouette designed to project political stability, power, and religious devotion through dense fabrics and somber tones. 1550, the Edwardine Protestant Reformation gown. In 1550, England's religious reformation drastically cooled the vanity of the court. This gown showcases how aristocratic women abandoned dazzling gold tissues for somber, dark wools, using structural simplicity to signal political and religious alignment with the new Protestant regime. 1552, the provincial gentry reform kirtle. By 1552, the radical Protestant shifts under Edward VI manifested deeply in the provinces. This gentlewoman's gown abandons the structural farthingale entirely, using plain local wool and flat linen collars to project an image of pure, unadorned Christian modesty. 1554, the royal state farthingale gown. In 1554, Queen Mary's wedding wardrobe cemented a hyper-luxurious Anglo-Spanish fusion. This blinding cloth of gold gown utilizes a perfectly flat, elongated bodice and a rigid conical farthingale to present the queen not just as a woman, but as a divinely ordained, unyielding political institution. 1556, the late Marian court gown. By 1556, the English court silhouette became highly streamlined under Queen Mary I. This all-black Marian gown shifts the focus of luxury away from voluminous fabric extensions to precision tailoring, utilizing contrasting textile textures, taffeta against cut velvet, to display wealth. 1558, the early Elizabethan regal gown. In 1558, Elizabeth I ascended the throne, and English fashion instantly lightened. While retaining the modest high collar of the previous decade, this gown reintroduces vibrant color and exposes the hair once more, signaling the dawn of a new golden age. 1560, the early Elizabethan court gown. By 1560, the iconic Elizabethan ruff had officially arrived. Still small and unstarched, these early ruff bands relied on dense, tight box pleating to frame the face, acting as a clean white canvas that highlighted the wearer's immaculate hygiene. 1562, the provincial gentlewoman's winter gown. Away from London's strict court etiquettes, an English country gentlewoman in 1562 favored the loose gown. Providing warmth and ease of movement, this style shows how provincial fashion adapted elite silhouettes into comfortable, everyday domestic wear. 1564, the introduction of a starch, the crisp ruff. In 1564, the introduction of liquid starch by Dutch immigrants revolutionized English fashion. For the first time, ruffs could defy gravity, growing wider and crisper, transforming the neck into an artistic, structural focal point of pure white geometry. 1566, the double-sleeve court gown. By 1566, elite English fashion prioritized conspicuous waist. The long-hanging sleeves on this gown served no physical purpose. They were a pure status symbol, proving that the wearer belonged to a leisure class that never needed to perform manual labor. 1568, the London merchant's wife attire. In 1568, London's merchant class used fashion to assert civic pride. This merchant's wife wears top-tier domestic black wool, copying the stiff court ruff, but choosing a padded hip roll instead of a farthingale to stay within the boundaries of middle-class modesty. 1570, the bell-shaped early Elizabethan silhouette. 1570 marks a structural revolution in English skirts. Discarding the harsh Spanish cone, women adopted padded bum rolls to push their skirts out abruptly at the hips, creating a soft, bell-shaped silhouette that defined the Middle Elizabethan decade. 1571, the attire of the Queen's maid of honor. In 1571, the young maids of honor at Elizabeth's court enjoyed softer, more romantic variations of fashion. This primrose yellow taffeta gown opens slightly at the throat, trading the severe, closed necklines of the older generation for a youthful display of lace and fresh flowers. 1573, the slashed satin jerkin doublet. In 1573, English women shook the court by adopting elements of masculine military attire. This slashed satin doublet features sharp shoulder wings and a tailored mail cut, demonstrating a bold, powerful subversion of gendered style that shocked conservative commentators. 1575, the Kenilworth pageant court gown. 1575 marks the legendary Kenilworth pageant. This breathtaking cloth of silver gown represents the absolute zenith of the mid-Elizabethan decade, where the high collar flares open into a massive lace fan, framing a jewel-encrusted, larger-than-life presentation of courtly power. 1576, the post-Kenilworth court silhouette. In 1576, the English court embraced the open fan ruff. This architectural lace frame allowed noblewomen to display their bare necks and wealth of pearls simultaneously, balancing severe geometric posture with an elegant display of skin. 1579, the heavily textured Elizabethan daytime gown. By 1579, the art of pinking reached its peak in London tailoring. By systematically slicing tens of thousands of microscopic cuts into expensive silk, artisans altered the fabric's light reflection, creating a rich, velvet-like texture that visually signaled immense labor costs. 1582, the transition to the true wheel farthingale. 1582 marks a radical structural pivot in English skirts. Moving away from the soft bum roll, tailors began engineering a flat, shelf-like horizontal silhouette at the hips, laying the structural groundwork for the iconic late Elizabethan cartwheel shape. 1585, the high-status diplomatic court gown. By 1585, elite English fashion was defined by structural exaggeration. The massive cannon sleeves on this gown physically restricted a woman's arm movement, serving as visual proof of her high social status and exemption from physical work. 1588, the Armada Victory State Gown. Following the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588, court fashion became a vehicle for imperial propaganda. This cloth of silver gown transforms the female form into an unyielding, wider-than-life monument designed to project national power and security. 1590, the full drum-shaped French farthingale. By 1590, the female body was entirely subordinated to geometry. This French wheel farthingale turns the skirt into a sharp horizontal tabletop, forcing the upper fabric into a gathered wheel frill that became the definitive court trademark of the late 1590s. 1592, the English country gentry autumn habit. Away from the competitive opulence of London, an English country gentlewoman in 1592 balanced style with provincial practicalities. Made from high-quality domestic wool rather than imported Italian silks, this gown utilizes a modest hip roll to maintain a proper courtly silhouette. 1595, the allegorical court progress dress. In 1595, court fashion embraced romantic and allegorical themes. The dramatic wire head veil on this white satin gown framed the lady in a soft cloud of translucent silk gauze, transforming court participants into classical poetry characters to delight the aging queen. 1598, the slashed velvet citizen's gown. By 1598, London's mercantile class was extraordinarily wealthy. This merchant's wife wears top-tier imported velvet, copying the stiff lines and slashed sleeves of the aristocracy, but utilizes a padded hip roll instead of a cartwheel farthingale to stay within the boundaries of civic modesty. 1600, the late Elizabethan open-collar splendor. At the turn of the 17th century, English fashion reached its most theatrical phase. This golden brocade gown features a dramatic, wired lace rabato collar that arches behind the head like wings, framing a daringly low neckline that defined the final aesthetic statement of the Elizabethan court. 1603. The somber court morning gown. 1603 marks a profound ideological and stylistic pivot in London. Following the death of the Queen, the court adopted deep mourning attire, replacing the gravity-defying starched white cartwheel ruffs with soft, drooping black lace collars that signaled the transition to a new dynastic era. 1605. The early Jacobean open-necked wheel gown. By 1605, the new Jacobean court softened the rigid lines of the previous century. This sky-blue damask gown retains the immense width of the wheel farthingale, but tilts the frame forward, introducing a wider, scooped neckline framed by a dramatic standing lace collar. 1606. The rural Jacobean holy day kirtle. In 1606, rural English fashion remained anchored to local production. Made from heavy worsted wool, this festive kirtle uses dense cartridge pleats at the lower back to create a full silhouette without the expensive wire hardware used by London aristocratic families. 1608. The high Jacobean formal attire. By 1608, Jacobean tailors began breaking away from Elizabethan geometry. This mulberry satin gown utilizes long hanging ribbon sleeves and a soft, unstarched falling lace ruff, trading the stiff cartwheel frames of the past for a more fluid, cascading display of fabric. 1609. The Jacobean elite informal ensemble. In 1609, behind closed doors, English noblewomen escaped their heavy velvet farthingales. This informal linen jacket showcases the pinnacle of domestic embroidery, where hours of hand-stitching covered the fabric in vines and insects, allowing high status to be displayed even in private spaces. 1610. The peak Jacobean elaborate silhouette. 1610 represents the peak of Jacobean luxury. This black velvet gown contrasts dark fabric against a blinding gold-embroidered stomacher, framed by a vertical, wire-stiffened rabato collar that transformed the wearer into an imposing icon of courtly authority. 1612. The softening Jacobean court dress. In 1612, a major comfort revolution swept London fashion as the rigid cartwheel farthingale began to fall from favor. This damask gown introduces the falling band lace collar, which abandoned wire supports to rest naturally over the shoulders, signaling a return to softer lines. 1613. The wealthy London citizen's winter habit. In 1613, London's mercantile elite used weatherproof luxury to display civil status. This winter ensemble combines fine domestic broadcloth wool with imported marten fur trim, copying aristocratic structure while remaining practical for city life. 1615. The slashed doublet and wired rabato look. 1615 marks the final dramatic stand of the Jacobean farthingale. This scarlet velvet gown combines a masculine-cut slashed doublet bodice with an immense horizontal farthingale frame, creating a striking, highly theatrical presentation of aristocratic power at the close of the era. 1616. The post-farthingale transitional gown. In 1616, English women abandoned the geometric cages of the 16th century. This transitional gown completely discards the horizontal wheel farthingale, opting for a softer silhouette with an elevated waistline and cascading lace collars that introduced early Baroque fluidity. 1618. The elite countryside traveling habit. In 1618, long-distance transit forced elite women to prioritize weatherproofing. This traveling habit uses an oiled canvas safeguard overskirt, ensuring a noblewoman remained visually striking and regal while enduring torrential rain on horseback across the muddy roads of England. 1620. The early Stuart high-waisted silhouette. By 1620, the English court had fully embraced a softened structural elegance. This high-waisted damask gown shows how the stiff, gravity-defying starched ruffs of the Elizabethan era collapsed into soft, layered falling ruffs that framed a more natural, elongated bodyline. 1623. The Spanish match embassy dress. In 1623, as political embassies traversed Europe, English court fashion combined local structure with continental flair. This mulberry velvet gown uses a dramatic wired wing collar to create a striking, regal frame around an open, elongated neckline. 1625. The Caroline mourning and plague flight habit. In 1625, London was paralyzed by the death of King James I and a devastating outbreak of the plague. Elite women fleeing the infected capital for their country estates wore heavy, matte black mourning habits. This look stripped away all Jacobean opulence, replacing gold lace with protective layers of plain linen, mourning veils, and perfumed pomanders, a stark, haunting visual of a nation in transition. 1626. The early Cavalier court silhouette. In 1626, the French bride of Charles I revolutionized London fashion. She banished the rigid, geometric structures of the early Stuarts, introducing lightweight, shimmering satins and soft, fluid sleeve lines that defined the romantic Cavalier aesthetic. 1629. The high-waisted elite daytime gown. By 1629, decorative functionalism dominated English dress. The ribbon lacing across the front of this taffeta bodice allowed for daily adjustment, while the short waist and overlapping basque tabs created a playful, visually broken silhouette favored by the gentry class. 1632. The virago sleeved court silhouette. 1632 represents the absolute height of the Van Dyck era. This canary yellow satin gown features the iconic virago sleeves, voluminous elbow-length puffs divided by silk ribbons, creating a shimmering, luxurious display of fluid fabric that dominated King Charles I's court. 1634. The slashed sleeve outrage gown. In 1634, the extreme cost of slashing expensive fabrics triggered strict sumptuary laws across early Puritan colonial communities in New England. This scarlet satin gown features a single, legally maximum sleeve slashed to deliberately flaunt voluminous white silk taffeta underneath, standing as a physical symbol of high luxury that pushed the exact boundaries of the New World's rigid dress codes. 1635. The open gown over contrasting petticoat. In 1635, layering was used to display multiple expensive fabrics at once. This open gown pairs heavy, dark crimson velvet with shimmering silver-embroidered cream satin, utilizing split skirts and long kid gloves to create a highly sophisticated look for aristocratic outdoor promenades. 1638. The London citizen elite winter gown. In 1638, the wives of wealthy London merchants balanced high style with urban practicality. This plum wool gown copies the short-waisted Cavalier cut, but utilizes durable local broadcloth paired with a fur hand muff and a black taffeta hood to protect the wearer from the brutal English winter. 1640. The early Civil War Cavalier silhouette. 1640 marks the eve of the Civil War. This royalist satin gown tracks a shift toward streamlined elegance. Surface embroidery is discarded in favor of deep, solid-colored satin, using the natural sheen of the fabric to assert aristocratic status amid political turmoil. 1642. The devout Puritan sad color gown. In 1642, the Puritans used dress as a physical weapon of political and religious dissent. This gown matches the high-waisted shape of the court, but rejects imported silks and lace, utilizing domestic russet wool and plain white linen to project an image of pure, unadorned Christian modesty. 1644. The streamlined English paned undersleeve dress. By 1644, the structural isolation of wartime England birthed unique domestic innovations. This taffeta gown features a highly distinct English style where the tight outer sleeves open to expose bulging, paned satin undersleeves, adding a textured layer to an otherwise streamlined wartime silhouette. 1646. The Royalist exile traveling gown. In 1646, as the Royalist cause collapsed, aristocratic fashion moved onto the escape roads of Europe. This durable wool traveling gown replaces delicate court satins with rugged broadcloth, using a deep black velvet hood to maintain a dignified, incognito presence in exile. 1649. The Commonwealth executed monarchy mourning habit. 1649 marks the execution of Charles I and the rise of the Republic. Royalist women used their clothing to perform silent acts of political resistance, wearing matte black crepe gowns and long veils to mourn the dead king right under the noses of the Puritan authorities. 1650. The interregnum formal stiff-bodied attire. By 1650, under Cromwell's Commonwealth, English elite fashion consolidated into a new, highly structured formula. Elite women abandoned the open gowns of the 1630s for separate, armored bodices lined with whalebone. This aquamarine watered silk ensemble uses concealed lacing and an elongated, flat-front torso to assert a cold, imposing dignity that defined the initial decade of the English Republic. 1652. The High Commonwealth Puritan citizen. By 1652, under the Puritan Commonwealth, modesty became the law of the land. This high-status Puritan citizen dress utilizes expensive, top-tier silk wool camlet, but pairs it with a massive white linen apron and cape collar to project civic order and religious purity. 1654. The countryside market woman habit. In 1654, away from London's political centers, lower-class English women prioritized pure utility. This countryside outfit uses durable domestic wool and front-lacing mechanics, allowing market women and laborers to perform daily work while staying within the legally enforced modesty codes of the Republic. 1656. The late Commonwealth softening gown. By 1656, despite the severe aesthetic restrictions of the High Protectorate, elite English dress began to subtly push boundaries. This transitional taffeta gown reintroduces soft plum silks and wider elbow sleeves, tracking a quiet resurgence of decorative display among royalist sympathizers preparing London for the eventual return of the monarchy. 1658. The Exile Return Court Silhouette. 1658 marks a major engineering pivot in English dress. Following the death of Cromwell, elite fashion eagerly anticipated a royal return, reviving long-pointed, heavily boned stomachers and daring off-the-shoulder necklines that completely broke away from Puritan restraint. 1660. The Charles II Restoration Gown. In 1660, the return of Charles II exploded into an era of unparalleled luxury. This breathtaking cloth of silver gown utilizes a hyper-extended, heavily corseted torso and a daringly low neckline, visually erasing a decade of Puritan rule to announce the triumphant return of a flamboyant French-influenced court. 1661. The Early Restoration Court Habit. In 1661, following the coronation of Charles II, the English court completely embraced French-influenced luxury. This sky-blue satin gown utilizes an elongated, heavily boned torso and an off-the-shoulder neckline, intentionally reintroducing decorative excess to erase the memory of Puritan restraint. 1664. the High Restoration daytime dress. By 1664, London fashion under the restored monarchy reached a peak of playful texturing. This yellow taffeta gown utilizes clusters of small silk ribbon loops, a massive trend of the decade, to add visual depth and movement to the rigid, elongated Baroque torso. 1667. The post-Great Plague somber gown. In 1667, after enduring a devastating plague and fire, London's elite fashion adopted a more restrained tone. This black damask gown retains the long, rigid court silhouette, but discards flashy ribbons and gems, using solid textures to maintain a dignified, somber appearance during a period of national recovery. (1670) The early loose mantua gown. 1670 marks a profound structural milestone in fashion history with the birth of the mantua. Originating as a loose, unboned comfort gown for informal daytime wear, this style allowed women to escape their heavy, stiff court bodices behind closed doors. 1672. The informal working-class kirtle. In 1672, while London's court wallowed in imported silks and loose mantuas, the countryside relied on the timeless utility of the kirtle. This version, dyed in durable domestic woad blue wool, features the essential front lacing system that acted as both support and protective armor for market women navigating the rigid economic realities of the Restoration. (1674) The gentry promenade mantua. By 1674, the informal mantua was adapted for outdoor wear. By pulling the long outer skirts backward and looping them over the hips, women purposefully created a dramatic draped bustle effect that showcased their expensive embroidered underpetticoats. (1677) The high court regal habit. In 1677, a fierce style rivalry divided English closets. Formal events strictly demanded this rigid velvet court dress, which used heavy whalebone reinforcement and real ermine trim to project institutional power, resisting the growing popularity of the loose mantua. 1680. The high Baroque structured mantua. By 1680, the transformation was complete. The informal mantua became formal court attire. Tailors learned to pleat and structure the loose gown over stiff understays, permanenting the draped rear skirts into a grand train that came to define high Baroque elegance. (1683) The late reign. Charles II court dress. 1683 represents the final years of King Charles II's court. This emerald satin gown utilizes a hyper-extended, narrow torso and slashed sleeves to deliberately expose fine white silk underneath, standing as a physical symbol of high luxury at the close of the era. 1685. The imperial triumphant gown. 1685 marks the rise of James II and a brief, hyper-luxurious court shift. This cloth of gold coronation gown transforms the female form into an unyielding, wider-than-life monument designed to project absolute national power and dynastic security. 1688. The aristocratic incognito refugee ensemble. 1688 marks the onset of the Glorious Revolution. As political power shifted, aristocratic women moved onto the roads of England. This traveling gown replaces delicate court satins with rugged wool broadcloth, using a deep black hood to maintain a dignified incognito presence. 1689. The early William and Mary court silhouette. In 1689, the ascension of William and Mary introduced a dramatic vertical revolution. This velvet gown introduces the fontange headdress, stiffened lace tiers built over a wire frame on top of the head, transforming women into tall, architectural icons of the late 17th century. 1690, the early 1690s aristocratic daytime dress. By 1690, the silhouette grew increasingly architectural. This terracotta damask mantua uses heavy fringe trim along the draped train to create linear emphasis, echoing the intricate wood carvings found in late Stuart palace interiors. 1691, the tiered fringe striped mantua. By 1691, textile texture became highly complex. This striped lampas mantua uses vertical stripes to create an illusion of height, paired with multiple horizontal tiers of metallic fringe that mirrored the heavy carved wooden paneling of late Baroque palaces. 1693, the towering fontange and extravagant train. 1693 represents the absolute height of the vertical fontange era. This black satin gown pairs an ultra-long, narrow torso with a towering 12-inch lace headframe, completely dominating the space and turning the wearer into a walking monument of court status. 1695, the wealthy London citizen elite habit. In 1695, London's mercantile elite used structured luxury to display civil success. This merchant's wife wears top-tier domestic broadcloth wool, copying the draped court mantua and fontange headdress, but scaling down the dimensions to stay within the boundaries of civic modesty. 1696, the high Baroque novelty dress. By 1696, European lace trades heavily influenced London style. This satin gown features a highly distinct novelty layout where the front underskirt is systematically layered with fine black needle lace over cream satin, adding a highly textured layer to the late Baroque silhouette. 1697, the elite domestic mourning mantua. In 1697, even informal mourning dress inside wealthy estates was a vehicle for display. This primrose yellow taffeta mantua pairs an open, flowing gown with a highly decorative lace apron, proving that high status could be maintained even behind closed doors during domestic mournings. 1698, the late Stuart oversized sleeve gown. By 1698, tailors shifted the focal point of luxury down to the sleeves. This ruby velvet gown features massive cartwheel cuffs lined with silver satin, forcing the arms into a wide, dramatic stance that visually commanded space at the late Stuart court. 1700, the turn-of-the-century regal mantua. At the turn of the 18th century, English fashion shed its vertical constraints to celebrate wide, fluid grandeur. This silver brocade mantua discards the towering lace fontange in favor of soft, natural ringlets falling onto naked shoulders, bringing a majestic, painterly finale to the grand Baroque era. 1701, the early Queen Anne Day mantua. At the dawn of the 18th century, English women shed the towering lace headpieces of the previous decade. This sage green damask gown retains the pinned-back train of the late Stuart mantua, but softens the lines, introducing a lower powdered hairstyle that prepared London for Queen Anne's reign. 1702, the household working-class kirtle. Away from London's courtly opulence, lower-class working women prioritized pure utility. This domestic servant's kirtle uses durable domestic wool and front-lacing mechanics, allowing laborers to perform daily work while staying within the boundaries of local class dress codes. 1704, the wrapped front Constantia gown. In 1704, country gentry families favored domestic comfort over London court pageantry. This wrapped wool silk gown utilizes clean, overlapping front bodices, structured over a stiffened stomacher panel, successfully blending the era's required flat torso elegance with an image of dignified, wealthy domestic practicality. 1707. The Act of Union Court Mantua, 1707, marks the legal birth of Great Britain. While daily life moved toward casual comfort, formal events at Queen Anne's court strictly demanded this rigid velvet mantua, using heavy whalebone stays and gold embroidery to display state authority and family lineage. 1709. The patent hoop petticoat introduction. In 1709, the invention of the patented whalebone hoop petticoat fundamentally altered the architecture of the female body. This sky blue satin gown drops over a completely hollow dome frame, casting aside late Stuart drapes to turn the skirt into a broad, self-supporting structural monument. 1711. The high-status expanded dome dress. By 1711, the rapid growth of the London hoop skirt triggered heavy satire in journals like The Spectator. This golden taffeta gown features a massive circular cartwheel dome frame that physically forced women to navigate doorways sideways, transforming fashion into a highly visible debate on luxury and public space. 1714. The sackback robe volante introduction. 1714 marks a profound dynastic shift as George I ascended the throne and fashion instantly loosened. This emerald damask robe volante features unwaisted back box pleats, à la française, flowing freely from the shoulders, trading the severe court lines of the past for a fluid, early Georgian comfort. 1715. The political covert resistance habit. 1715 marks the onset of the Jacobite Rebellion. Tory and Jacobite women used their clothing to perform silent acts of political resistance, wearing matte black crepe gowns to mourn the exiled Stuart line while hiding secret white rose symbols inside their sleeve cuffs right under the noses of the Whig authorities. 1716. The London merchant elite prosperity gown. In 1716, London's merchant elite used wealth to assert civic pride. This merchant's wife wears high-grade domestic black wool broadcloth combined with imported ruby satin, copying the dome hoop silhouette of the court, but scaling down the diameter to stay within the boundaries of middle-class civic modesty. 1718. The High Georgian English gown. By 1718, tailors in England perfected a unique national style. This mulberry taffeta close-bodied gown features back pleats that are stitched completely flat against the spine, creating a sharply tailored, narrow torso that beautifully contrasted with the vast, round hoop skirt beneath. 1720. The oblong side hoop pannier shift. 1720 marks the birth of the oblong side hoop. This violet satin gown flattens out entirely in the front and back, extending wide to the left and right sides to transform the female silhouette from a round cone into a wide architectural screen. 1721. The anti-calico sumptuary law outfit. 1721 was the year of London's fierce textile riots and the passage of the Calico Act. This navy blue gown represents the patriotic compliance of an English lady, discarding illegal Indian calicos to proudly wear domestic Spitalfields silk wool, transforming fashion into a physical act of national economic defense. 1723. The formal sackback court gown. In 1723, despite political rivalries, French court tailoring dominated London high society. This primrose yellow sackback gown combines loose, majestic sackback pleats with an ultra-wide side hoop frame, creating a grand, theatrical presentation of aristocratic wealth. (1724) The wealthy yeoman's daughter kirtle. In 1724, rural English fashion remained anchored to local wool production. Made from heavy worsted green say, this countryside dress uses a quilted under petticoat to provide warmth and structure, showing how provincial families maintained a neat, respectable silhouette without imported wire hardware. 1725, the extreme square panniers state gown. 1725 represents the zenith of early Georgian court exaggeration. This cloth of silver state gown pushes the side hoops out to an extreme 6-foot width, turning the female form into an imposing, wide tabletop monument designed to project immense dynastic status at court galas. 1726, the High Georgian daytime promenade habit. In 1726, the art of decorative quilting became a major status symbol in England. This open, close-bodied gown pairs rich orange satin with an intricately quilted cream silk petticoat, utilizing a refined pinner day cap to introduce a sharp, respectable elegance to London promenades. 1727, the Imperial Hanoverian coronation gown. 1727 marks the coronation of George II and Queen Caroline. This grand gold brocade gown utilizes a hyper-extended, heavily corseted torso and massive side hoops to present the queen not just as a woman, but as a divinely ordained, unyielding political institution. 1728. The slashed sleeve robe à l'anglaise. By 1728, English dressmaking achieved a harmonious balance between severe structure and clean surfaces. This emerald green satin close-bodied gown rejects the voluminous loose draperies of continental fashion, utilizing narrow, sharply tailored sleeves and stitched-back pleats to frame a narrow torso that rises elegantly above the wide side hoop skirt. 1729. The early Hanoverian transitional dress. 1729 marks a transition point in Georgian dress as tailors began adding dense horizontal weight to the skirt hem. This violet satin, close-bodied gown introduces multiple layers of furbelow ruffles at the bottom flounce, shifting the visual weight downward over the wide side hoop frame to create a cascading effect. 1730, the High Georgian finale gown. At the close of the 1720s, English fashion reached its peak of architectural grandness. This silver brocade sackback gown pairs loose, flowing back pleats with massive, rigid rectangular side hoops, bringing a majestic finale to the early Georgian segment. 1731. The High Georgian open close-bodied gown. In 1731, London's silk weavers at Spitalfields achieved global fame by shifting away from stiff, abstract Baroque geometry. This close-bodied gown showcases their newly mastered naturalistic botanical patterns, turning the expansive side hoop skirt into a walking display of English textile innovation. 1733, the inverted V-court four-part dress. By 1733, British court etiquette maintained a strict division between French-style loose sackbacks and rigid front tailoring. This royal blue satin sackback gown relies on a sharp inverted V skirt line and a heavily boned stomacher to project imposing, wider-than-life aristocratic status. 1735, the household working-class kirtle. Away from London's courtly opulence, lower-class working women prioritized pure utility. This domestic servant's bedgown uses durable domestic wool and an unboned, overlapping jacket construction, allowing laborers to perform grueling daily work while staying within the boundaries of local class dress codes. 1736, the silk lampas fringe mantua. By 1736, younger generations embraced light Rococo silks, but older aristocratic widows maintained this heavy lampas mantua. This look uses vertical stripes to create an illusion of height, paired with multiple horizontal tiers of metallic fringe that mirrored the older style of late Baroque palaces. 1738, the quilted satin riding habit. In 1738, English noblewomen shocked foreign visitors by adopting masculine cuts for outdoor activities. This equestrian riding habit pairs a tailored wool jacket with a warm, quilted satin under petticoat, blending practical insulation with an aggressive display of upper-class independence. 1740, the Jacobite secret rebellion gown. 1740 marks a period of covert political resistance in Scotland and northern England. Tory and Jacobite women used their clothing to perform silent acts of dissent, wearing matte black crepe close-bodied gowns to mourn the exiled Stuart line while hiding secret white rose symbols inside their sleeve cuffs above the wide side hoop frame, right under the noses of the authorities. 1742, the gentry daytime promenade gown. 1742 marks a major comfort revolution for the English gentry. By replacing heavy, solid side hoop frames with independent pocket hoops, women could easily access their underpockets through skirt slits, softening the silhouette while maintaining a proper aristocratic width. 1743, the silk and wool camlet day gown. By 1743, England's thriving middle class drove a massive market for mid-tier textiles. This navy blue silk wool camlet close-bodied gown copies the tailored silhouette of the aristocracy, but avoids expensive side hoop hardware, demonstrating a clean, respectable domestic prosperity. 1745, the Highland Campaign tartan gown. In 1745, the Jacobite Rising turned Scottish tartans into a highly visible act of political treason. This hand-woven wool tartan close-bodied gown represents a bold display of family allegiance, using a white silk cockade on the bodice to openly defy the Hanoverian crown in London. 1746, the St. James's Royal Birthday Gala silhouette. In 1746, as Britain engaged in continental wars, court dress became a weapon of political propaganda. This cloth of silver state gown pushes side hoops to an extreme 6-foot width, turning the female body into a living architectural monument designed to project absolute national wealth at royal galas. 1748, the mid-century Rococo court gown. By 1748, the engineering of dress moved toward convenience without sacrificing luxury. This primrose yellow gown replaces the traditional pinned stomacher with buttoned compares front panels, showing how Rococo design prioritized streamlined tailoring over the wide side hoop frame while covering the surface in intricate fly fringe. 1750, the domestic country estate gown. By 1750, the Manchester Act successfully industrialized domestic textile printing, turning printed cotton linens into a staple of British country life. This printed gown reflects a shift toward pastoral country house elegance, using legally compliant, innovative British copperplate prints to introduce a relaxed, nature-inspired luxury to English fashion. Would you believe that in just 50 years, British women transformed from this to this? This wasn't just clothing, it was a battlefield. A single gown could stretch over 2 meters wide, imprisoning the body in a rigid architectural fortress. But as the world outside fractured with the Industrial Revolution, national mourning, and the fiery eruption of the French Revolution, the grand fortresses of fashion completely collapsed, granting absolute freedom to the female form in fluid, translucent silks. Let's rewind the clock to 1750 and unlock the secret diary of British fashion year by year. (1751), the mourning gown for Frederick, Prince of Wales. 1751 was a year of mandatory national grief following the death of Prince Frederick. This black bombazine gown represents strict compliance with court mourning decrees, turning the wide side hoop silhouette into a somber, silent statement of dynastic respect. 1753. The Brunswick traveling gown. In 1753, the arrival of German-style influences via the Hanoverian court popularized the Brunswick gown in England. This silver-gray traveling suit features a built-in hood and tight, long sleeves, providing warmth and protection during long carriage journeys while maintaining a highly aristocratic line. 1754. The open gown with apron trim. In 1754, even informal morning dress inside wealthy estates was a vehicle for display. This primrose yellow taffeta close-bodied gown pairs a sharply tailored torso with a highly decorative lace apron, proving that high status could be maintained even behind closed doors during domestic mornings. 1755. The zenith British Rococo sackback gown. By 1755, the rigid architecture of the early Georgian era gave way to fluid Rococo asymmetry. This rose-pink taffeta sackback gown covers every inch of its surface in serpentine, S-curved fabric flounces, transforming the woman into a moving canvas of light and shadow. 1756. The merchant-class urban gown. By 1756, London's wealthy merchant class abandoned the heavy fabrics of the past to embrace light, vibrant Rococo aesthetics. This striped Spitalfields taffeta close-bodied gown copies the elite's floral obsession, but structures it over flexible, highly functional pocket hoops, seamlessly blending high-status civic pride with the practical demands of urban architecture. 1758. The slashed sleeve robe à l'anglaise revival. By 1758, English dressmaking achieved a harmonious balance between sharp structure and rich, fluid surface ornamentation. This emerald satin close-bodied gown rejects experimental historicism, utilizing narrow, smooth sleeves and massive triple-tiered lace engageantes to frame a narrow torso that rises beautifully above the functional pocket hoop silhouette. 1759. The late George II court assembly gown. 1759 marks the magnificent twilight of the early and mid-Georgian eras. This deep violet satin sackback gown rejects static linear weight, covering the expansive side hoop silhouette with continuous serpentine rows of gold-stitched furbelows to create a dynamic, undulating surface that epitomized the height of British Rococo luxury. 1760. The early neoclassical English nightgown. 1760 marks the ascension of George III and a profound architectural cleansing in British fashion. This celadon green robe à l'anglaise replaces the heavy, pinned court stomachers of the past with a streamlined, closed-front bodice, signaling a new era of lighter textiles and tailored vertical elegance that would dominate the late 18th century. 1761. The George III coronation state mantua, the formal British court dress. In 1761, the coronation of George III demanded absolute adherence to the rigid architectural traditions of the British state. This gold tissue court dress completely locks the female body into an unyielding frame, using vast side hoops and a legendary 60,000-pound diamond stomacher to transform the queen and her ladies into living monuments of dynastic power. 1764. The High Georgian sackback gown. By 1764, the extreme rectangular frames of the past softened into fluid Rococo asymmetry. This primrose yellow sackback gown covers its surface in pinked serpentine self-fabric ruffles, using flexible pocket hoops to allow for an elegant, swaying movement during London assemblies. 1767. The stitched-back town promenade dress. In 1767, the English gentry favored tailored practicalities over imported French court loosely draped styles. This mulberry damask robe à l'anglaise features back pleats stitched entirely flat along the spine, creating a sleek, narrow torso that relied on a soft horsehair bum pad rather than rigid wire cages for structure. 1770. The early ribbon-looped polonaise. 1770 marks the birth of the iconic robe à la polonaise in British fashion plates. By systematically looping the long outer skirts into 3 dramatic swags using exterior silk cords and decorative buttons, women kept their expensive silks clear of the muddy London streets while creating a dynamic, heavily textured rococo silhouette. 1772. The lower-class domestic jacket and petticoat. Away from the aristocracy's competitive luxury, lower-class English women relied on pure textile durability. This striped wool calimanco jacket and petticoat utilize a glossy, weatherproof glaze and functional pinned front mechanics, allowing market women to endure the damp London winters while maintaining a neat, respectable appearance. 1774. The high-style macaroni-era gown. By 1774, English high fashion entered its most satirical phase, driven by the macaroni trend. This sky-blue satin gown is topped by an 18-inch tower of powdered hair built over a vertical wire cage, transforming women into architectural landmarks that challenged the ceilings of London ballrooms. 1776. The Revolutionary War-era promenade gown. In 1776, tailoring prioritized convenience without sacrificing elite luxury. This crimson taffeta polonaise replaces the traditional pinned stomacher with buttoned comperes front panels, allowing for rapid dressing while keeping the outer skirts draped into 3 dramatic, billowy swags. 1778. The country estate milkmaid gown. By 1778, British high society sought an escape from court rigidity by embracing a romanticized pastoral countryside aesthetic. This printed chintz gown pairs light cotton copperplate prints with a broad-brimmed straw bergère hat, introducing an image of rustic country house elegance to aristocratic estates. 1780. The early redingote riding habit. 1780 marks a major tailoring revolution as women adopted masculine riding cuts for daily street promenade wear. This navy blue wool redingote utilizes overlapping shoulder lapels and a wide leather belt, discarding heavy silk draperies for a sleek, structured coat line that redefined female independence. 1781. The revolutionary lightweight cotton gown, the robe en chemise. In 1781, popularized by the Duchess of Devonshire in London, the lightweight cotton muslin chemise caused an absolute sensation. By casting aside heavy silk brocades and adapting a soft silhouette over streamlined understays, this gown introduced a fluid, translucent, and radically relaxed natural waistline that laid the structural groundwork for the upcoming Regency era. 1783. The early redingote promenade habit. 1783 marks a major tailoring revolution as women adopted masculine riding cuts for daily street promenade wear. This navy blue wool redingote utilizes overlapping shoulder lapels and a wide leather belt, discarding heavy silk draperies for a sleek, structured coat line that redefined female independence. 1785. The late Hanoverian extravagant silhouette, 1785, represents a unique phase of localized volume exaggeration. This yellow taffeta Pierrot gown pairs a short, tight jacket with an immense white silk bouffant neckerchief that balloons outward from the chest, balancing slim, tailored sleeves with a dramatic, highly textured presentation of the upper torso. 1786. The revolutionary lightweight muslin gown. In 1786, popularized by the Duchess of Devonshire in London, the lightweight cotton muslin chemise caused an absolute sensation. By casting aside heavy silk brocades and adapting a soft silhouette over streamlined understays, this gown introduced a fluid, translucent, and radically relaxed natural waistline that laid the structural groundwork for the upcoming Regency era. 1788. The anti-import patriotic wool gown. 1788 was a year of intense domestic textile patriotism in England. This navy blue silk wool gown represents the careful compliance of a country gentlewoman, discarding imported French luxury silks to proudly wear domestic worsted weaves, transforming fashion into a physical act of national economic defense. 1789. The revolutionary Bastille tricolor striped gown. 1789 marks a profound ideological and stylistic pivot as the French Revolution erupted. This bold, tricolor striped satin gown reintroduces vibrant political color palettes, abandoning heavy white hair powders for wild, natural curls that signaled solidarity with a rapidly changing European social order. 1792. The high-status continental Anglomania dress. By 1792, even despite geopolitical rivalries, English tailoring dominated European high society through Anglomania. This charcoal wool redingote combines a mid-high, relaxed waistline structured over short understays with masculine jacket lapels, trading the severe court lines of the past for a fluid, late Georgian vertical elegance. 1794. The high-style directoire tunic dress. In 1794, layering was used to display multiple expensive fabrics while maintaining classical statuary lines. This directoire tunic dress pairs deep violet silk satin with a pristine white cotton muslin underskirt, utilizing a split-front overgown to introduce a highly sophisticated, multi-layered elegance to London promenades. 1795. The true neoclassical empire debut. In 1795, the complete collapse of old regime structures birthed the true neoclassical empire silhouette. This white cotton muslin gown replaces the heavy Baroque cages of the past with a streamlined silhouette expertly supported by lightweight transitional understays, using an ultra-short torso and a narrow drawstring ribbon to turn the female form into a fluid, pristine Greek column. 1797. The high-waisted open promenade robe. In 1797, British tailors preserved the traditional concept of the open robe, but adapted it to neoclassical parameters. This mustard yellow taffeta gown layers an open silk robe over a white cotton underdress, combining traditional rich silk fabrics with the new high-waisted columnar silhouette. 1798. The late Georgian Grecian draped gown. By 1798, the art of classical draping dominated London high society. This white cotton lawn gown pairs an ultra-short high waist with a massive scarlet cashmere shawl, utilizing the natural folds of the imported wool to transform the wearer into a walking piece of ancient Greek statuary. 1800. The turn-of-the-century regal muslin. Closing the year 1800, English women completely eradicated the heavy structural cages of the previous generations. This exquisite white Indian muslin gown utilizes an ultra-short high waist and a Greek key gold embroidery border, bringing a flawless, statuesque finale to the 18th century to launch the true golden age of 19th century neoclassical style.
In 1800, British women finally freed their bodies in dresses so thin they were practically naked. But by 1830, that freedom mutated into monstrous, feather-filled sleeves. Before the 1840s completely crushed their waists into brutal, rigid captivity. How did fashion go from pure liberty to total entrapment? Let's find out.
1803. The late Georgian evening gala gown. In 1803, the art of formal evening display reached its peak of late Georgian elegance. This white cotton muslin evening gown pairs a deep scoop neckline with short slashed puff sleeves, utilizing a long column train and long kidskin gloves to introduce a majestic, painterly grandeur to London ballrooms. 1806. The late Georgian short jacket ensemble. 1806 represents a unique phase of localized outerwear innovation, heavily influenced by military uniforms. This scarlet wool Spencer jacket features an ultra-short cut that highlights the high-waisted empire silhouette underneath, utilizing brass military buttons to project a sharp, structured presentation of the upper torso. 1809. The late Georgian velvet police coat. In 1809, English fashion combined protective insulation with a sharp, majestic grandeur that defined the late empire silhouette. This forest green velvet police coat discards all horizontal draperies for a sleek vertical line, using a high collar and an upright ostrich plume to bring a dignified outerwear statement to London streets. 1812. The late Regency stiffened hem silhouette. By 1812, the perfectly fluid draperies of the early Regency began to stiffen. This primrose yellow satin gown adds heavy padded velvet tubing to the bottom hem, tracking the very first historical signs of the skirt expanding outward once more as the century advanced. 1814. The High Regency Imperial Ball Gown. In 1814, London hosted grand peace galas as the Napoleonic Wars drew to a close. This shimmering white satin gown represents the height of imperial evening luxury, using a silver net lace overlay and a high-waisted silhouette to project absolute national victory and dynastic opulence. 1815. The Regency-era finale silhouette. 1815 marks the victory at Waterloo and the grand structural transformation of the classical Regency line. This white satin gown combines a high waist with aggressive military cording and a historicized lace ruff collar, utilizing a short, ankle-length triangular hem to bring a triumphant finale to the era before the silhouette moved toward Romantic-era volume. 1818. The historicized post-Napoleonic Day gown. By 1818, the fluid simplicity of the early Regency collapsed under a wave of historical nostalgia. This lilac taffeta gown pushes the waistline downward while utilizing heavy, padded velvet tubing at the hem to force the skirt into a rigid, conical flare that defined the early Romantic transition. 1819. The wealthy London citizen's promenade dress. In 1819, London's mercantile class used highly textured, durable luxury to display civil status. This merchant's wife wears high-grade domestic plum wool broadcloth combined with heavy velvet rouleau trim, capturing the structured conical silhouette of the late Regency court, while optimizing the garment for practical ankle-length urban navigation. 1821. The High Georgian Grand Evening Gala Gown. In 1821, as George IV ascended the throne, fashion embraced theatrical complexity. This amber gold satin gown features elaborate Marie sleeves, divided into systematic puffs by silk ribbons, paired with a heavily stiffened conical skirt that visually anchored the body to the floor, marking the true dawn of the early Romantic silhouette. 1822. The court-mandated royal morning gown. 1822 reflects the rigid, codified legacy of official British court grief. This black bombazine gown represents meticulous compliance with court mourning decrees, utilizing a horsehair-stiffened conical skirt and a historicized black crepe ruff to transform the female form into a somber, silent monument of dynastic respect. 1824. The mid-high waist transition gown. 1824 marks a major structural transition in the female silhouette. This emerald damask gown drops the waistline down to a fashionable mid-high position, using fan-shaped bodice pleating and a broad pelerine cape collar to visually expand the shoulders and contrast against a widening, structured skirt. 1825. The elite domestic morning gown. In 1825, even informal morning dress inside wealthy estates embraced the theatrical structural shifts of the early Romantic era. This primrose yellow cotton gown completely discards the flat-sleeved styles of the past, utilizing massive ballooning gigot sleeves and a wide pelerine collar to visually expand the upper torso and assert high-status elegance even behind closed doors. 1827. The early ballooning gigot sleeve gown. By 1827, engineering met exaggeration in British fashion. This yellow taffeta gown introduces the early gigot sleeve, a massive fabric sphere at the shoulder that required tight internal corsetry and starched under petticoats to turn the female form into an hourglass monument of pure romantic geometry, balanced perfectly on a structured mid-high waistline. 1828. The High Georgian Town Walking Gown. 1828 marks a complete architectural reset in British fashion. This navy blue silk taffeta gown officially drops the waistline to its true natural position for the first time in a generation, using massive ballooning gigot sleeves and a broad pelerine collar to create a powerful hourglass symmetry that defined the height of early Romantic style. 1830. The peak Romantic extravagance gown. 1830 represents the absolute height of the Romantic era. This breathtaking rose-pink satin gown features monstrous gigot sleeves held vertical by feather-filled internal plumpers, pairing a wide off-the-shoulder neckline with architectural Apollo knots hair loops to create the most theatrical silhouette of the 19th century. 1831. The tartan craze promenade dress. In 1831, the publication of James Logan's The Scottish Gale cemented the national craze for Highland textiles. This hand-woven wool tartan gown represents a bold display of romanticized regional identity, utilizing monstrous gigot sleeves and a rigid conical skirt to project a highly visible statement of British national pride without any retrofitted historical drapes. 1833. The aristocratic London carriage gown. By 1833, the focus of luxury shifted to sweeping fabric folds and drooping sleeve bags. This mulberry velvet carriage gown combines tight corsetry with massive imbecile sleeves, utilizing a towering bonnet hat to command vast public space during London aristocratic promenades. 1834. The High Georgian Grand Evening Gala Gown. By 1834, the architecture of British fashion shifted from gravity-defying shoulder spheres to a fluid, downward-drooping luxury. This emerald satin evening gown utilizes restricted Donna Maria sleeves and a wide lace Bertha collar to pull the visual weight toward the elbows and shoulders, transforming the female form into a highly textured, dramatic hourglass monument of the late Romantic era. 1836. The King William IV era transition. 1836 tracks the sudden, rapid deflation of Romantic volume. This violet satin gown pleats and restricts the fullness at the upper arm to create a dropped gigot sleeve, flattening the shoulder line to prepare the British eye for the more somber, restrained aesthetic statement of the upcoming Victorian era. 1839. The lower-class domestic work dress. In 1839, away from the royal court's early Victorian opulence, lower-class working women prioritized pure industrial utility. This domestic servant's costume replaces the archaic stays of the past with a high-necked, buttoned linsey-woolsey jacket dress and a heavy cotton utility apron, allowing laborers to perform rigorous daily tasks while embodying the severe, restrained modesty demanded by early 19th century class dress codes. 1840. The early Victorian restrained day gown. In 1840, early Victorian society demanded absolute modesty and domestic restraint. This black damask gown introduces the strict drop-shoulder seam, which physically locked a woman's arms downward, turning her into a living symbol of submissive grace and home duty. 1841. The free trade activist promenade dress. In 1841, the anti-Corn Law League bazaars turned fashion into a weapon for free trade. This navy blue alpaca silk gown rejects protectionist isolation, using a severe, long-pointed V-waist and restrictive drop-shoulder sleeves to present the activist gentlewoman as a highly disciplined modern symbol of British industrial progress and political reform. 1843. The early Victorian tiered flounced gown. By 1843, the early Victorian skirt grew into a distinct, structured, bell-shaped silhouette held out by starched underpetticoats. This royal blue taffeta gown utilizes 3 massive, overlapping horizontal flounces to break up the vast surface area of the skirt. establishing the tiered flounce design that became the definitive trademark of the early 1840s. 1844. The early Victorian tiered flounce gown. 1844 represents a harmonious peak in early Victorian dress before the invention of hoop cages. This violet satin gown pairs a severe, long-pointed V-waist and restrictive drop-shoulder sleeves with multiple overlapping horizontal flounces, transforming the female form into a highly textured, bell-shaped statement of romantic modesty. 1845. The pre-cage bell skirt finale silhouette. At the close of the 1845 season, English fashion reached the absolute physical limit of heavy fabric layers. This emerald green velvet gown relies on an immense underskirt woven with stiff horsehair to maintain its graceful bell silhouette, bringing a majestic, heavy finale to the early Victorian segment before the invention of the steel cage. 1846. The pre-industrial peak bell skirt silhouette. In 1846, before metal underhoops were invented, tailors relied on multi-tiered horizontal flounces to break up the vast expanse of the widening skirt. This plum taffeta gown showcases the extreme drop-shoulder seam of the early Victorian decade, pinning the woman's arms downward to enforce an image of modest, submissive domestic grace, relying on horsehair under petticoats to maintain its continuous bell-shaped silhouette. 1847. The lower-class domestic work dress. Away from London's courtly opulence, lower-class working women prioritized pure industrial utility. This domestic servant's costume replaces the archaic stays of the past with a high-necked, buttoned linsey-woolsey jacket dress and a heavy cotton utility apron, allowing laborers to perform rigorous daily tasks while embodying the severe, restrained modesty demanded by early 19th century class dress codes. 1848. The political working-class activist day dress. 1848 was a year of intense political coordination and working-class democratic protest across Europe. This navy blue wool gown represents the careful compliance of an activist London middle-class woman supporting the Chartist movement, discarding flashy luxury embellishments for domestic worsted weaves, transforming fashion into a physical act of solidarity and disciplined dignity. 1850. The high Victorian closed promenade gown. As London prepared for the landmark Great Exhibition of 1851, textile technology reached a peak of competitive industrial display. This tawny orange silk jacquard closed gown rejects archaic historical layers, pairing a severe long-pointed V-waist and wide pagoda sleeves with a massive crinoline-supported bell skirt to project an image of absolute, sophisticated British economic dominance across London streets.
1855, carrying 14 pounds of suffocating horsehair pushed Victorian women to a breaking point until steel cages took over. By 1883, engineering pushed fashion to the extreme, locking skirts into rigid, 90-degree steel shelves. Before the S-bend corset reshaped the human spine itself, how did industrial technology turn British women into walking steel monuments? Let's find out. 1851. The Zenith Paxton-era exhibition dress. In 1851, the Great Exhibition celebrated global trade, and the imported Indian cashmere shawl became the ultimate British status symbol. This white cotton lawn gown pairs a severe, long-pointed V-waist and a high-closed neckline with a massive scarlet cashmere shawl, utilizing the natural folds of the luxury wool to create a striking, globally minded display of imperial wealth across the Crystal Palace. 1853. The pre-cage bell sleeve silhouette. By 1853, tailors shifted the focal point of luxury down to the arms. This emerald satin gown introduces the iconic pagoda sleeve, a wide bell shape that flared out at the forearm to deliberately expose immaculate white linen undersleeves, standing as a physical symbol of high domestic luxury at the close of the bell skirt era. 1854. The war-era political allegiance gown. In 1854, military deployments revived regional textile politics across the British Empire. This hand-woven wool tartan gown represents a bold display of family identity, using heavy horsehair under petticoats to project a highly visible statement of national pride during wartime. 1855. The physical limit. Horsehair gown. 1855 marks the literal weight crisis of Victorian fashion. To maintain this massive belle silhouette without metal frames, a woman had to carry up to 14 pounds of suffocating horsehair and flannel under petticoats around her waist, setting the stage for an urgent industrial intervention. 856. The industrial spring steel revolution gown. In 1856, the commercial introduction of the spring steel cage crinoline completely revolutionized the female body. This yellow taffeta gown drops over a completely hollow metal cage, instantly freeing women from the sweltering weight of horsehair petticoats while turning the skirt into a broad, light-as-air structural monument. 1858. The peak cage crinoline extravagance. By 1858, the rapid growth of the steel hoop skirt triggered heavy social satire in London. This golden taffeta gown features a massive, circular, cartwheel cage crinoline that physically forced women to navigate doorways sideways, transforming high fashion into a highly visible architectural statement. 1860. The dawn of modern haute couture. 1860 marks a profound structural milestone with the commercial rise of Charles Frederick Worth. This primrose yellow gown combines ultra-precise custom tailoring with an elliptical steel cage frame that shifts volume to the rear, 1.2, creating a grand, highly structured presentation of aristocratic wealth at the dawn of haute couture. 1861. The sovereign imperial mourning silhouette. 1861 marks a profound ideological and stylistic pivot across Great Britain, following the death of Prince Albert. This black bombazine gown represents strict compliance with royal mourning decrees, utilizing an elliptical steel cage crinoline heavily draped in matte black crepe to turn the female form into a somber, silent statement of eternal dynastic respect. 1862. The wealthy guild wife's promenade costume. In 1862, London's merchant elite used modern industrial innovations to project civic success. This merchant's wife wears vibrant amethyst purple taffeta dyed with British aniline chemicals, copying the elliptical, rear-projecting silhouette of the haute couture court to turn the high street promenade into a bold display of middle-class capital and civil stability. 1863. The transition to the elliptical crinoline. 1863 marks the triumph of the oblong elliptical crinoline, 1.2. This violet satin gown flattens out entirely in the front and sides, pushing the steel rings and fabric volume dramatically to the rear to transform the female silhouette from a round cone into a wide, directional screen that laid the groundwork for the upcoming bustle era. 1864. The high Victorian imperial evening gown. 1864 represents the peak of high Victorian court exaggeration under the immense style influence of Princess Alexandra. This grand gold brocade gown utilizes a rear-projecting elliptical frame and a wide lace Bertha collar to create a powerful hourglass symmetry, projecting immense dynastic status across London royal galas. 1865. The late 1860s court elite promenade gown. 1865 represents a masterful structural milestone in British dressmaking before the collapse of the hoop skirt. This emerald satin gown rejects archaic historicism, pairing a severe long-pointed V-waist and tailored coat sleeves with an asymmetric, rear-projecting elliptical frame to turn the female silhouette into a grand, directional architectural monument. 1866. The late high Victorian elliptical gown. By 1866, the perfectly symmetrical circular hoops of the previous decade were completely abandoned. This orange satin gown pairs a severe long-pointed V-waist and tailored coat sleeves with an asymmetric rear-projecting elliptical steel frame and a structured basque tabbed bodice, flattening out entirely in the front to push the fabric volume dramatically to the rear, transforming the female silhouette into a grand, directional architectural monument. 1867. The elite domestic mourning attire. In 1867, Even informal morning dress inside wealthy estates embraced the transitional structural shifts of the late High Victorian era. This primrose yellow silk foulard, closed gown, completely discards archaic historical aprons, utilizing a relaxed high-waisted profile and tailored coat sleeves to project an image of absolute, sophisticated domestic elegance behind closed doors. 1868. The late High Victorian transitional silhouette. 1868 marks a profound structural milestone as British fashion officially abandoned the circular hoop. This ruby velvet gown pairs an elevated Empire Revival waist and tailored coat sleeves with a rear-projecting crinolette silhouette, 1.2, completely flattening the front to push all fabric volume into dramatic rear drapes that laid the direct groundwork for the upcoming bustle era. 1869. The pre-bustle transitional silhouette. 1869 marks a major engineering transition point in Victorian dress as circular hoop skirts collapsed to make way for the bustle era. This violet satin gown pairs an elevated Empire Revival waist and tailored coat sleeves with multiple overlapping rear flounces, shifting all visual weight backward onto a half-cage crinolette to create a cascading effect that closed out the high crinoline decade. 1870. The early tournure silhouette. 1870 marks the definitive birth of the first bustle era in London fashion. This peacock blue taffeta gown flattens out completely in the front, pairing an elevated Empire Revival waist and tailored coat sleeves with an internal horsehair mesh cushion pad to systematically loop and bunch the rear fabric into deep, billowy draperies that shifted the focal point of luxury entirely over the sacrum. 1871. The Polonaise bustle hybrid town gown. In 1871, tailors revived the traditional concept of the draped polonaise, but engineered it over new bustle substructures. This mulberry fail gown utilizes internal drawstrings within the integrated jacket tails to form dramatic, self-supporting fabric spheres, creating a visually complex, heavily layered look for London day promenade wear. 1873. The High Victorian dinner gala gown. By 1873, the architecture of the bustle train reached its peak of textile texturing. This rose-pink satin gown covers its extensive rear train in continuous tiers of silk organza flounces, pairing a wide, off-the-shoulder line and short cap sleeves with an aggressive bustle substructure to transform the lady into a walking monument of light and shadow as she moved across late Victorian ballrooms. 1874. The wealthy merchant class, Sunday fine habit. In 1874, London's merchant elite used weatherproof luxury to project civic success. This forest green wool walking suit copies the tailored lines of the aristocratic bustle, but utilizes durable domestic broadcloth paired with a fur hand muff to maintain proper middle-class civic modesty during urban winter promenades. 1875. The Sovereign Imperial Court morning dress. 1875 represents the strict continuation of national mourning codes across London society, executed through modern tailoring innovations. This black bombazine gown pairs an elongated body-sculpting cuirass bodice with a downward-shifted natural form train, draped in matte white crepe, turning the severe mourning silhouette into a somber, majestic statement of dynastic respect. 1876. The demise of the first bustle frame. 1876 marks the complete collapse of the first bustle projection. This white satin gown introduces the strict cuirass bodice, an armor-like torso that encased a woman's hips like a solid sleeve, completely flattening the lower back to force the body into a narrow vertical sheath line. 1878. The restrained High Victorian hourglass dress. By 1878, the female body was entirely subordinated to narrow, organic geometry. This burgundy velvet sheath gown utilizes a hyperextended cuirass torso to tightly bind the upper thighs together, discarding all bustle frames to turn the woman into a sleek, shimmering natural hourglass statue. 1880. The turn of the decade high fashion dress. At the turn of the 1880s, tailors prioritized intricate textile draping along the front thighs. This orange satin gown pairs an elongated cuirass torso with an asymmetric tablier apron drape, creating a sleek screen-like profile that prepared London for the upcoming decade. 1882. The early sports innovation habit. In 1882, the introduction of stretch wool jersey cloth by Lillie Langtry revolutionized active daytime sportswear. This navy blue tennis dress pairs innovative stretch knit fabrics with streamlined internal corsetry, utilizing the natural elasticity of the wool to allow for real athletic freedom while maintaining a respectable, highly disciplined hourglass line. 1883. The rigid right-angle shelf silhouette. 1883 marks the dramatic resurrection of the bustle, but with a severe geometric force. This ruby velvet gown introduces the second bustle era, using horizontal steel bands inside a rigid canvas cage to push the skirt straight out like a sharp tabletop shelf from the lower back. 1885. The Zenith Second Bustle Extravagance. 1885 represents the absolute height of the second bustle era. This heavy brocade gown utilizes a rigid, steel-reinforced rear shelf to carry dense, structural upholstery fabrics and gold fringe, turning the female form into a walking piece of high-status interior architecture. 1886. The high-status carriage, traveling habit. In 1886, long-distance transit forced elite fashion to prioritize weatherproof insulation over delicate silks. This silver-gray traveling redingote coat features deep backbox pleats cut specifically to clear a massive bustle shelf, providing protection during carriage journeys while maintaining a majestic, highly structured line. 1888. The late Victorian collapsed bustle court dress. 1888 marks a profound structural milestone as British fashion officially deflated the aggressive right-angle steel shelf. This emerald satin court gown pairs a sleek, natural waist and short cap sleeves with a heavily embroidered front tablier and a gently sloping, collapsed bustle train, converting the bulky architecture of the previous years into a fluid, vertical elegance that closed out the high Victorian bustle decade. 1889. The final year pre-90s transition. 1889 marks a major transition point in Victorian dress as the heavy steel bustle cages collapsed to make way for the fluid lines of the 1890s. This violet satin gown introduces a clean, bell-shaped skirt line, shifting the visual focus upward toward a high-standing collar to close out the bustle decade. 1890. The turn of the century. New woman silhouette. At the turn of the 1890s, English fashion shed its rear steel frames to celebrate wide, fluid grandeur. This silver brocade gown introduces the sharp kick-up sleeve at the shoulder seam, shifting the visual weight upward to lay the structural groundwork for the upcoming balloon sleeve decade. 1891. The fin de siècle town walking suit. 1891 represents the triumphant emergence of the new woman silhouette in British fashion. This navy blue worsted wool town gown rejects archaic drapes, pairing a severe tailor-made jacket, sharp kick-up sleeves, and a white silk cravat with a clean lily-shaped bell skirt to transform the wearer into a bold, highly disciplined symbol of modern female independence and urban mobility. 1892. The dawn of the 90s balloon silhouette. By 1892, engineering met exaggeration once more in British fashion. This yellow taffeta gown introduces the early 1890s gigot sleeve, a massive fabric sphere at the shoulder that required tight internal corsetry and stiff underlinings to turn the female form into an hourglass monument of pure late Victorian geometry. 1893. The regional identity pageant habit. In 1893, royal celebrations revived regional textile politics across Great Britain. This hand-woven wool tartan gown represents a bold display of romanticized national identity, using monstrous leg-of-mutton sleeves and a clean, flat-fronted gored bell skirt to project a highly visible statement of national pride. 1894. The late Victorian lily-shaped silhouette. 1894 represents the absolute height of the late Victorian sleeve insanity before the transition to the Edwardian era. This violet satin gown rejects archaic hem decorations, pairing a sleek natural waist and monstrous, gravity-defying leg-of-mutton sleeves with a clean, flat-fronted gored bell skirt to transform the female body into a highly theatrical, dramatic hourglass monument of pure Belle Epoque geometry. 1895. The late Victorian finale silhouette. 1895 marks the absolute zenith of late Victorian sleeve exaggeration. This emerald green velvet gown pairs monstrous ballooning gigot sleeves with a massive circle-cut clock skirt, bringing a majestic, highly structured finale to the era before the dawn of the Edwardian S-bend silhouette. 1896. The late Victorian fin de siècle day dress. 1896 marks the rapid, definitive deflation of the late Victorian sleeve. This wool serge gown collapses the monstrous gigot puffs into a sleek, functional arm line, pairing a rigid standing collar with a smooth trumpet skirt to introduce the sharp, streamlined efficiency of the late 1890s new woman. 1897. The late Victorian Jubilee tailor-made costume. 1897 represents the height of imperial pride in British fashion during Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee. This navy blue worsted wool town gown rejects archaic protectionist isolation, pairing a severe tailor-made jacket, tight coat sleeves, and a white silk cravat with a clean trumpet skirt to transform the wearer into a bold, highly disciplined symbol of modern British industrial stability and female independence. 1898. The late Victorian elite promenade suit. In 1898, the custom tailor-made suit became the definitive everyday uniform for wealthy English women. This charcoal wool suit copies the sleek lines of the late Victorian silhouette, but prioritizes active urban mobility, pairing structured jacket lapels with an ankle-clearing hem for independent city promenades. 1899. The pre-Edwardian grand gala dress. Closing the year 1899, English high fashion celebrated a fluid, sweeping grandeur before entering the 20th century. This white satin gown utilizes a hyper-extended trumpet skirt that featured foaming interior lace ruffles at the hem, creating a dramatic whispering sound with every step as the lady glided across late Victorian ballrooms. 1900. The S-bend pigeon breast gown. In 1900, high society demanded absolute structural discipline. This ice blue taffeta gown relies on the straight front S-bend corset to reshape the skeleton, using a billowing pigeon breast front and a rigid standing collar to project an image of hyper-formal aristocratic status at the turn of the century. From the bone-crushing S-bend of 1900 to the hobbled ankles of 1910, the 1920s flappers shattered centuries of restriction. Women claimed public trousers in 1930, endured total wartime austerity in the 1940s, before the 1965 London mini dress sparked a global youthquake. From 1970s street punk rebellion to 90s girl power pop icons to complete modern casual freedom, how did 125 years reshape British style? Let's find out. 1905. The active middle-class day uniform. By 1905, the rise of women in the workforce demanded functional mobility. This navy wool and white linen ensemble represents the definitive everyday uniform of the emerging middle-class British woman, clearing the ankles to allow for unhindered movement through urban streets. 1909. The WSPU militant political suit. In 1909, the political battle for the vote transformed British tailoring. This charcoal tweed suit rejects the heavy, ornamental draperies of the past for an active, uniform-like silhouette, turning female dress into an explicit statement of political solidarity and physical mobilization. 1910. The Paul Poiret Empire. Hobble skirt. 1910 presents a striking historical paradox. Fashion liberated the waist but bound the feet. This emerald satin gown introduces the notorious hobble skirt, removing internal bones but tightening the ankles in a velvet band to turn the female stride into a highly restricted, artistic glide. 1912. The pre-war high society evening line. 1912 represents the peak of pre-war sartorial complexity, forever associated with the Titanic era. This mulberry chiffon gown utilizes a wire-stiffened lampshade tunic to create a striking architectural layer, balancing a narrow ankle profile with dramatic mid-torso volume. 1914. The home front wartime uniform. In 1914, total war forced an immediate tailoring revolution across Great Britain. This khaki wool utility suit discards delicate satins for rugged serge wool and functional deep pockets, turning everyday female fashion into a literal uniform of active wartime civil defense. 1917. The first industrial working-class trousers. Away from the aristocracy, the harsh reality of 1917 forced women into heavy industrial labor. This khaki denim overall suit utilizes wide breeches that taper at the shins, establishing the very first widespread, legally accepted use of trousers for working-class British women during wartime. 1919. The Day of Armistice Relaxed line. 1919 represented the dawn of post-war liberation and the definitive end of Edwardian structure. This emerald silk gown discards all internal bones for a fluid barrel silhouette, introducing an era of unyielding physical comfort that prepared the British eye for the upcoming Roaring '20s. 1922. The romantic anti-tubular gala silhouette. In 1922, the robe de style allowed elite women to maintain a grand historical presence at London assemblies without returning to stiff Victorian corsets. This mulberry taffeta gown pairs a flat, hip-level bodice with lightweight side hoops, balancing modern flat-chested lines with a majestic display of luxury fabric. 1924. The Art Deco beaded flapper shift. By 1924, the speed of jazz music and the rise of Art Deco altered London nightlife. This heavily beaded georgette gown completely suppresses the female shape to turn the torso into a flat canvas of abstract geometry, using swinging bead fringes to catch the light during syncopated dances. 1926. The historical peak short skirt revolution. 1926 represents the absolute structural zenith of the flapper era. This yellow satin gown pushes the hemline up to the kneecap, using an unyielding boxy cylinder and a skull-hugging cloche hat to transform women into androgynous, modern figures that shocked conservative British commentators. 1930. The public trousers breakthrough. The year 1930 represents an unassailable milestone in the liberation of the female body across Great Britain. By adopting the beach pajamas wide-leg trousers for public promenade wear at seaside resorts, women successfully bypassed strict social skirt laws, using massive fluid linen drapes to claim physical mobility and gender-neutral comfort without public scandal. 1932. The high 30s liquid satin silhouette. In 1932, the onset of the Great Depression drove high fashion to reject the brief, boyish shifts of the previous decade for a mature, statuesque elegance. This liquid satin gown utilizes bias-cut mechanics to sculpt a seamless, elongated column line that came to define the golden age of cinema and London dinner galas. 1934. The glamorous red carpet trumpet skirt. By 1934, Hollywood cinema acted as a visual escape from global economic hardship. This sapphire crepe gown utilizes precision-inserted godet skirt panels to anchor the upper thighs in a narrow line, while allowing the hem to sweep majestically across ballroom floors, defining mid-30s formal evening tailoring. 1936. The dawn of the masculine padded torso. 1936 marks a profound structural milestone with the introduction of sharp shoulder padding by Elsa Schiaparelli. This emerald crepe gown uses internal padding to create a broad architectural frame, transforming the female silhouette into an aggressive, powerful monument that prepared the British eye for the upcoming wartime era. 1939. The Sovereign Defense Uniform. 1939 marks the victory of military mobilization and the grand collapse of peaceful luxury lines. This forest green wool red and goat coat dress combines sharp padded shoulders with a wide leather belt, discarding satins for a sleek uniform line that physically prepared British women for the onset of total war. 1941. The CC-41 Statutory Utility Suit. In 1941, the introduction of the CC-41 Utility Code turned fashion into a strict mathematical act of national resource preservation, 1940 to 1965. This charcoal wool suit features a short knee-length skirt and heavily padded shoulders, using absolute fabric minimalism to transform British citizens into marching monuments of patriotic endurance. 1943. The wartime air raid jumpsuit. 1943 marks a period of prolonged wartime austerity and continued civilian air raid threats in Great Britain, 1940 to 1965. This wool siren suit represents a pure statement of functional civil survival, utilizing an integrated jumpsuit cut to allow women to dress in less than a minute during midnight sirens, while maintaining a neat, structured line suitable for immediate civil defense labor. 1947. The Carole Line Revolutionary Hourglass. 1947 marks the birth of the iconic new look in British fashion. This black taffeta gown completely rejects wartime fabric restrictions, utilizing an independent wasp corset and 20 yards of pleated fabric to turn the female form into a hyper-feminine hourglass monument of pure luxury. 1953. The Norman Hartnell Imperial Masterpiece. 1953 marks the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II and the absolute zenith of British haute couture. This grand white satin state gown utilizes a tailored natural waist and short cap sleeves over a heavily padded hip structure, turning the young queen into a divinely ordained, magnificent political institution of imperial power. 1955. The high 50s mid-decade domestic look. 1955 represents the commercial height of the circular skirt in England, 1940 to 1965. This violet taffeta day dress utilizes a precision-tailored bodice and an internally quilted circle skirt, creating a crisp, gravity-defying dome silhouette that defined mid-century domestic prosperity. 1958. The dawn of the wide swing silhouette. By 1958, engineering met modern art once more in British fashion. This yellow taffeta trapeze gown pushes the skirt fabric straight out like a sharp triangular screen from the chest, completely removing waist cinchers to lay the early structural groundwork for the loose shifts of the next decade. 1961. The pre-youthquake clean rectangle. At the turn of the 1960s, English fashion shed its mid-century domestic constraints to celebrate youth-driven minimalism. This burgundy wool shift dress introduces a clean, boxy cylinder shape, shifting the visual weight onto pure geometric lines to lay the structural groundwork for the upcoming space-age decade. 1965. The Youthquake Minimalist Revolution. Closing the year 1965, London became the absolute capital of world fashion through the mini dress explosion, 1940 to 1965. Discarding all corsetry and structural padding in favor of a geometric color-blocked jersey box, this Mary Quant mini dress pushes the hemline high above the knee, bringing a radical, liberationist finale to the mid-century era to launch the modern age. 1966. The high mod peak silhouette. In 1966, London's mod subculture merged with space-age futurism. This gabardine dress discards traditional organic drapes for industrial vinyl borders, transforming the female form into a sleek, geometric machine aesthetic that dominated Carnaby Street boutiques. 1970. The early 70s romantic anti-mini shift. 1970 marks a profound structural milestone as the youth culture rejected minimalist geometry to embrace pastoral romanticism, 1966 to 1989. This fluid moss crepe maxi dress utilizes a high empire waist and sweeping floor-length lines, trading the severe plastic shifts of the 60s for an fluid, bohemian elegance. 1972. The corduroy trouser suit and platform soles. By 1972, the initial shock of women wearing trousers gave way to everyday utility. This corduroy trouser suit reflects the casualization of British daywear, moving away from rigid structures and fragile silks toward mass-produced, durable cotton textiles that allowed for genuine physical comfort during daily urban commutes. 1974. The Laura Ashley Pastoral Cotton Day Dress. By 1974, economic stagnation and urban strikes in Great Britain drove a widespread fashion movement toward rural romanticism. This Laura Ashley cotton dress utilizes delicate Victorian floral motifs, a high pie crust collar, and a modest calf-length hem, moving away from space-age synthetics toward traditional, comfortable cotton textiles suitable for everyday British life. 1976. The early punk subculture suit. The 18% inflation rate in 1976. Britain forced subcultural youth to assemble clothing from cheap industrial materials. This tartan suit avoids traditional tailoring structures, using exposed hardware and hardware store safety pins to create a durable, low-cost uniform for London streetwear. 1979. The Westminster tailored election suit. The election of Britain's first female prime minister in 1979 established corporate power dressing. This royal blue wool suit utilizes structured shoulders and a traditional pussy bow blouse to mirror masculine tailoring conventions. The design provided professional functionality for the House of Commons while projecting political stability. 1981. The high street casual romantic silhouette. By 1981, high street fashion reacted against late 1970s punk and corporate stiffness by embracing soft, historical textures. This everyday ensemble combines a heavy cable knit sweater with a ruffled cotton miniskirt to offer practical warmth for the British autumn. The design provided physical comfort and affordable style for independent young women navigating urban London. 1984. The high street corporate tailored suit. The rapid expansion of the British service sector in 1984 established the tailored skirt suit as the definitive everyday uniform for working women. This charcoal wool ensemble moves away from fragile styles, using relaxed jacket lines and a functional gored skirt to ensure physical mobility. The design provided professional comfort for independent office employees navigating corporate spaces. 1987. The acid-wash denim jacket and high-waisted jeans. By 1987, youth culture completely rejected formal corporate stiffness in favor of durable, casual streetwear. This acid-wash denim ensemble utilizes loose, oversized silhouettes and heavy cotton textiles to offer complete physical comfort and structural resilience for daily urban activities. The design provided a low-cost, utilitarian uniform that defined mainstream teenage and young adult fashion across late 1980s Great Britain. 1989. The high street casual sportswear uniform. By 1989, mass-market high street fashion completely abandoned the rigid, padded structures of early 80s corporate attire in favor of flexible, low-cost sportswear. This nylon and spandex ensemble utilizes loose, untailored activewear silhouettes to provide complete physical mobility and weatherproof protection for everyday domestic and leisure travel. The design offered an affordable, utilitarian uniform that defined mainstream youth and adult street fashion at the turn of the decade. 1993. The alternative rock casual uniform. The global explosion of alternative rock music in 1993 established the grunge uniform across mainstream youth fashion. This high street ensemble pairs a delicate polyester slip dress with a rugged worker-style cotton flannel shirt to provide everyday physical comfort and warmth. The design offered a low-cost, utilitarian anti-fashion aesthetic that completely rejected the rigid corporate gloss of the previous decade. 1994. The high street plaid miniskirt and cropped cardigan. By 1994, mass-market youth fashion moved away from late 1980s oversized streetwear toward a neat 1990s minimalist schoolgirl aesthetic. This high street ensemble utilizes an affordable cropped cardigan and a gored plaid miniskirt to provide everyday physical comfort and functional mobility. The design offered a popular, low-cost uniform that defined mainstream daytime teenage and young adult fashion across mid-1990s Great Britain. 1995. The everyday high street ribbed sweater and denim midi skirt. By 1995, mainstream high street fashion fully consolidated 1990s minimalism into a practical, mass-market uniform. This ribbed knit and denim ensemble utilizes simple, unpadded silhouettes and durable cotton textiles to ensure physical warmth and functional mobility for daily urban life. The design offered a popular, low-cost aesthetic that defined everyday daytime women's fashion across mid-1990s Great Britain. 1996. The high street girl power, cropped t-shirt, and denim miniskirt. The global chart dominance of the Spice Girls in 1996 heavily commercialized pop subculture aesthetics for the mass market. This high street cropped baby tee and denim miniskirt ensemble utilizes comfortable, accessible cotton textiles to ensure physical mobility and low-cost manufacturing. The design offered a popular daytime uniform that defined mainstream youth street fashion across late 1990s Great Britain. 1998. The high street cargo pants and asymmetric tunic. By 1998, British high street fashion combined military surplus utility with fluid streetwear asymmetry. This cargo pants and knit tunic ensemble discards formal tailored structures for a relaxed, multi-layered look that prioritized daily physical comfort and durability. The design provided a low-cost, highly accessible uniform worn by millions of independent young adults navigating urban transit. 1999. The high street Y2K nylon puffer jacket and bootcut jeans. The massive tech futurism boom of late 1999 established sporty synthetic outerwear across mainstream winter fashion. This iridescent nylon puffer jacket and bootcut jeans ensemble utilizes relaxed, unpadded casual silhouettes to provide windproof protection and insulation for daily urban life. The design offered an affordable, mass-market daytime uniform that defined everyday women's street style at the close of the 20th century. 2000. The high street Y2K mid-rise jeans and rhinestone top. The rapid commercialization of Y2K pop music in 2000 established casual denim and graphic crop tops across mainstream high street fashion. This stretch bootcut jean and baby tee ensemble utilizes flexible, affordable textiles to maximize physical comfort and movement for daily leisure. The design provided a low-cost, universally accessible daytime uniform that defined youth street style at the dawn of the new millennium. 2001. The Juicy Couture plain velour tracksuit. The introduction of the velour tracksuit in 2001 permanently blurred the lines between domestic comfort and street-level daytime wear. This pink velour ensemble utilizes unstructured casual silhouettes and soft synthetic textures to maximize physical comfort for daily leisure. The plain, unadorned design provided an accessible, low-cost uniform that launched the definitive loungewear craze across early 2000s British high streets. 2003. The high street evening party uniform. The rapid expansion of fast fashion retail chains in 2003 established lightweight synthetic party dresses across mainstream evening fashion. This polyester georgette dress utilizes a relaxed halter neck and fluid diagonal ruffles to maximize movement on the dance floor. The design provided a low-cost, universally accessible uniform that defined youth nightlife across mid-2000s Great Britain. 2005. The high street boho chic tiered maxi skirt. The rapid explosion of the celebrity-driven boho chic trend in 2005 established relaxed, historical folk styles across mainstream daytime fashion. This tiered cotton maxi skirt and coin belt ensemble moves away from synthetic techwear, utilizing breathable, low-cost cotton cheesecloth to ensure physical comfort for daily urban and summer festival wear. The design provided an affordable, highly accessible uniform that defined mid-2000s British high street style. 2006. The high street skinny jeans and fitted waistcoat. The commercial introduction of mass-market stretch skinny jeans in 2006 permanently ended the decade-long dominance of the bootcut flare. This indigo denim and fitted waistcoat ensemble utilizes narrow, body-skimming lines and flexible synthetic blend textiles to ensure low-cost production and daily physical comfort. The design provided an affordable, highly accessible uniform that defined mainstream mid-2000s British youth street culture. 2008. The high street elastic bandage dress. The rapid high street commercialization of bodycon design codes in 2008 made the bandage dress a definitive clubwear uniform. This crimson rayon blend dress utilizes heavy, industrial-grade synthetic elasticity to provide a firm, secure fit for nightlife dancing. The mass-produced design offered an affordable, highly recognizable evening garment that dominated British high street fashion during the late 2000s. 2010. The Festival. High-waisted denim shorts and hunter boots. The rapid commercialization of British indie rock festival subcultures in 2010 established utilitarian outdoor wear across mainstream youth fashion. This high-waisted denim shorts and rubber boot ensemble utilizes durable, affordable cotton and industrial waterproof synthetics to ensure physical protection during unpredictable British summer weather. The design provided a low-cost, highly practical uniform that defined early 2010 street style. 2012. The structured scuba peplum dress. The rapid high street commercialization of structural synthetic knitwear in 2012 established the peplum dress as a versatile day-to-night uniform. This royal blue scuba dress utilizes heavy, stretch-retaining polyester blends to provide physical comfort for office wear while transitioning easily into evening nightlife. The design provided an affordable, universally accessible aesthetic across early 2010s Great Britain. 2015. The high-rise spandex leggings and puffer jacket. The rapid commercialization of digital fitness lifestyle trends in 2015 established athleisure apparel as a dominant mainstream casual uniform. This black nylon spandex leggings and puffer jacket look utilizes flexible synthetic stretch textiles and lightweight insulation to ensure daily physical comfort and weather protection during urban commutes. The mass-produced design provided an affordable, highly accessible everyday street style across mid-2010s Great Britain. 2018. The oversized checked blazer and chunky sneakers. The rapid rise of social media digital street style in 2018 established relaxed, oversized tailoring conventions across mainstream daytime fashion. This checked blazer and chunky sneaker ensemble moves away from tight bodycon lines, utilizing loose silhouettes and affordable synthetic wool blends to maximize physical comfort and mobility. The design provided a low-cost, highly photogenic uniform that defined late 2010s urban British style. 2020. The pandemic lockdown lounge fleece sweatsuit. The sudden outbreak of COVID-19 and resulting national lockdowns in 2020 shifted mainstream fashion away from public-facing tailored clothing toward unstructured lounge apparel. This oatmeal gray fleece sweatsuit utilizes simple, loose-fitting cotton blend knits to ensure physical warmth and ease of movement during extended periods of domestic isolation. The mass-produced design provided an affordable, functional uniform that defined early 2020s work-from-home and digital video call culture. 2021. The technical Gorpcore jacket and cargo pants. The transition toward outdoor gatherings and parks in 2021 established professional mountain climbing apparel across mainstream urban fashion. This Gore-Tex nylon ensemble utilizes technical, weatherproof synthetic textiles and rugged trail footwear to ensure physical durability and moisture protection during daily outdoor commutes. The design provided a functional, mass-market uniform that defined early 2020s post-lockdown youth street style. 2023. The high street quiet luxury, fine knit midi dress. The rapid commercialization of the quiet luxury and old money aesthetic via social media algorithms in 2023 established minimalist knitwear across mainstream fashion. This fine knit column dress moves away from flashy logos and neon streetwear, utilizing low-cost synthetic cotton yarn, blends to provide physical comfort and warmth for daily office work and city commutes. The design offered a highly accessible daytime uniform across mid-2020s Great Britain. 2024. The high street wide-leg cargo jeans and cropped tee. The rapid commercialization of early 2000s nostalgic design codes on social media platforms in 2024 established relaxed utility wear across mainstream youth fashion. This cropped baby tee and wide-leg cargo jeans ensemble utilizes durable, low-cost cotton textiles to ensure physical comfort and storage utility for daily urban commutes. The mass-produced design provided an affordable, highly recognizable daytime uniform across contemporary Great Britain. 2025. The oversized blazer and poplin boxer shorts. The rapid commercialization of casual loungewear and oversized business tailoring in 2025 established the boxer short and blazer ensemble across mainstream summer fashion. This cotton poplin and woven blazer look moves away from traditional skirt suits, utilizing loose, uncinched silhouettes and affordable textiles to maximize physical comfort during hot summer city commutes. The mass-produced design provided a low-cost, highly accessible daytime uniform across contemporary Great Britain.